Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fortitude Immigration. So, there have been a lot of questions and changes to coming to Canada for different pathways. So, I'm just going to jump right in and maybe address some of them for you. So, a lot of questions I get on Facebook and other means of social media is how can I come to Canada? So, that's an open ended question. If you're trying to come to Canada during COVID to work, that is probably unlikely to happen unless you are coming to work in essential services, which would obviously be in our health sector or agriculture, things like that. The reason being is there is a very high unemployment rate right now due to COVID. A lot of businesses have closed down. So it is hard to obtain the documentation required to apply for a travel visa, which or work permit, depending on what you require. So, in saying that, the main document you need in order to come and apply for work status is a labor market impact assessment, or LMIA. It's where an employer applies through Service Canada for permission to hire a temporary foreign worker to come to Canada. And in doing so, it's a very lengthy application process. They need to advertise and show that they can't hire Canadians or permanent residents to do that job. A lot of people who are semi-skilled ask me if they can come to Canada to work, and those are even harder to obtain because Canadians and permanent residents can definitely do food service, cooks, things like that. Is it impossible? No. Can it be done? Yes, but that employer has to be willing to do the work and pay the application fee in order for that to be done. Also, please note the employer should never be asking for money from you in order to make that application to Service Canada for an LMIA. That is their expense, not yours. Now, in saying that, skilled workers would have also a hard time during COVID in order to get an LMIA because unless you're in a specialized field, again, we have Canadians and permanent residents who can do the job. So my suggestion is find a recruiter who, not all immigration consultants are recruiters. There are a select group of people who are. Also note that what fees you should and should not be paying for in order to obtain a job in Canada. There are strict rules that protect temporary foreign workers when coming to Canada. So, if you're coming to Canada, you should not be applying to an employer or recruiter who is going to be charging you or making you pay back any expenses to that employer for hiring you. You should be obviously researching things. Should you be paying for the visa application? Most times, yes, that is your expense. Travel to Canada is the employer's expense. Putting you up in accommodations and finding you accommodations is their responsibility. If you are coming as a semi-skilled worker, then that definitely is their expense. If you're coming as a skilled worker, that would be your expense. But most recruiters would make the employer pay for you to come to Canada, regardless if it's semi-skilled or skilled. Now, again, there are certain requirements in order to be granted a work permit, and an LMIA is pretty much the main document. Now, if you're coming on an intra-company transfer, that is a whole different process altogether. So back to my question. Can you come to Canada to work in Canada right now due to COVID? It'd be highly unlikely. So trying to seek that out is probably more impossible, but you can still apply for jobs through Job Bank and Indeed and other means to apply to the employer. If the employer knows you're trying to seek temporary foreign status as a worker, they most likely will not entertain that idea. But there are still some that are getting applications approved, but again, you would have to seek out a recruiter to do that. Now, coming under permanent residency, again, you would have to meet the requirements of express entry as a federal skilled worker and or provincial program, but most provincial programs required a job offer, and those are hard to come by, as we just discussed. And except for Saskatchewan and Prince Edward Island, they do not require a job offer to make an expression of interest. Now, the big change, and I want to address this one, is coming to Canada to visit family members during COVID. Now, if you're a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, the travel ban exemptions had immediate family members as part of that exemption. And you would then have to follow the process, which is applying for a visitor visa if you're part of a country that requires that, or an ETA if you're part of a country that doesn't require a visa to entry. And then obviously you would need to meet the requirements of a visitor visa, which has not changed. But the fact that you are part of the travel ban exemption is a good thing as an immediate family member. then you would not require permission after you got your visitor visa or ETA to enter Canada through IRCC, because you would be coming to visit an immediate family member who is a Canadian citizen or permanent resident. Now, major changes have come. If you have a girlfriend or boyfriend here in Canada and wish to visit them, or a sibling or half sibling or step sibling, or you are a grandparent or grandchild wanting to come to visit somebody here in Canada, this is now part of a uniting with an extended family member who is a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, and that is a major change. So somebody who wants to come visit somebody who you've been dating, which is called an exclusive dating relationship, which isn't common law. You're not married. They could be your fiance. You could be dating them for, a length of time, and now you want to know if they can come to Canada to visit you. You must be in that relationship for at least 1 year, and you must have shown at some point that you were in a physical presence of that person. So an exclusive dating relationship means you're in a romantic relationship with a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, have been in that relationship for at least 1 year, and have spent time in a physical presence of that person at some point during your relationship. Examples of exclusive dating relationship include fiancé, committed romantic partners for at least 1 year who live together but don't meet the definition of common law, boyfriends, girlfriends, or any other couple in an intimate, loving relationship. Now, during this process, you can also be, like I mentioned, a non-dependent child, which is an adult child. So let's say you're here as a permanent resident, but your adult children are not, and you would like them to be able to unite with you. That would be them. If you have siblings, half siblings, or step siblings who want to come and visit you, meaning brothers and sisters, half brothers and sisters. You are a grandparent who wants to come and visit, or you are a grandchild. Which means that you are non-dependent of somebody here, which means you are an adult age. Then you now can make an application to apply to come to Canada and unite, which is the same process. You would need to make a travel visa application or an ETA if you're part of visa application exemption. And in that application, you need to fill out additional documentation, which are additional forms that have been added, and include those in your application, which means that you can prove that you're part of this extended family member process. And in that, you will also make an application for IRCC to grant you permission to come to Canada at the same time. Now, let's say you've already made an application to come to Canada as part of an extended family member. Let's say your fiance or boyfriend or girlfriend has already made that application. And then once that visa application is granted, then you will now need to make an email to IRCC asking for permission to come to Canada as part of this excluded family member exemption. So there's different steps depending on what process you've already undertaken. So these are all very good changes, but they all required the same documentation and proof to come to Canada as a visitor. You still need to show ties to your home country, reasons for coming to visit. You need to be showing now that you are here for more than 15 days. You will need to quarantine and have a quarantine plan to come to Canada for coming and entering. But also another change is humanitarian compassionate grounds, which was not part of the choices before. So let's say you have a family member who is ill, or you have a family member who is giving birth and you want to be part of that. Somebody has passed, is now deceased. There are many reasons to want to come under the compassionate reasons. Examples are being present during the final moments of a loved one in their life, providing support to a person deemed critical ill, providing care to a person who is medically requires support, attending a funeral or end of life ceremony, coming for the birth of a child. There are many reasons now. So the compassionate reasons requires authorization for you to come, which is the same application as a TRV and or ETA if you're a visa exempt. Again, there's additional forms and processes you must follow. But because you're coming for compassionate reasons, you would not be coming under the quarantine plans. Therefore, you also need to get authorization from the Public Health Agency of Canada to enter Canada and not be part of the quarantine requirements. Again, an additional step. So like I mentioned, there are lots of changes that have occurred. If you have further questions, please feel free to contact me through WhatsApp, email, Facebook, and I would be able to further assist you. But please note there are fees associated to somebody's time as an RCIC. Advice is not free, and if you'd like more information, then feel free to contact me. Please also make sure that you're contacting RCICs, which are Registered Canadian Immigration Consultants, in good standing. There are a lot of YouTube videos out there where people are just randomly giving information. Please do not consult people who are not registered in good standing with ICCRC. Do not contact agents. Make sure you're consulting people or lawyers who are legally able to give you advice, because if you do so and contact people who are not RCICs in good standing, you take their sole responsibility of getting wrong information, incorrect information, falsified information, end up paying fees that you should not be paying for, paying grossly out fees that are not even in the realm of things that you should be paying for. So you need to do your own research. You are held accountable for your own choices in life, so make sure you're doing your research. You can definitely contact ICCRC on their website and find out if that person is in good standing and licensed as an RCIC. So do your own homework, but feel free to contact any RCIC and get more information. A lot of people, RCICs do charge for their time, as mentioned. Fees are obviously going to be randomly different because there are different RCIC charge different fees for different things. But yes, feel free to contact anybody. The information is also on the IRCC website. But yes, feel free to keep in touch and follow my page and my YouTube page, my Facebook page, because I update frequently all of the changes that are coming across. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to talk to you soon. Thank you.